Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, respected, distinguished speakers on the screen, Professor Abhay Kandikarji, Director, Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India, the august audience consisting of invited guests from academia, startup community, industry, students, all my colleagues and fellow STPIans from across India, ladies and gentlemen, namaste and very good morning. Today we are virtually gathered here to ignite the young minds and young innovators across the length and breadth of India to celebrate the spirit of science. Today on this virtual platform of IISF 2020, as Director Startup and Innovation Promotion Division, Software Technology Parks of India, and the Principal Coordinator of New Age Technology Show, it is a matter of great privilege to bring you a special event titled New Age Technology Show 2020 under the New Frontiers, which is one of the 9 verticals which has been identified for this current IISF 2020. New Age Technology Show is spread across 3 days, will witness deliberations, discussions, showcase, and keynote addresses on various topics of emerging technologies, such as AI, ML, data analytics, AR, VR, IoT, etc., and to celebrate and further encourage innovation. NATS 2020 has been made possible only because of support of teams and coordinators from across organizations, which include STPI, CSIR, NISCARE, IT Delhi, and Vigyan Bharati. I extend warm welcome to our special guest, Dr. Abhay Karindikarji, Dr. Omkar Rai ji, in today's inaugural session. I would also like to pay my sincere gratitude to Honorable Minister of Finance, Shri Anurag Thakurji, who could not join in due to his preoccupation last minute. Over the past few centuries, the world has moved from agrarian economy to industrial economy to tech-driven economy. Now the world is moving towards what is known as knowledge economy. In the knowledge economy, data is new oil and IP is the new currency. So science has always been the bedrock of human civilizations. Humans have evolved as their scientific knowledge evolved. The wheel was considered revolutionary when it was invented. Electricity was another revolution invention. Humankind has witnessed many such revolutionary changes, and in recent times, internet is considered to the biggest technological transformation witnessed by the world. A transformation of India is happening under the dynamic leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups are the keys to this transformation. Initiatives like Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India, Cashless India, Government e-Marketplace have been driven through various innovations and digital interventions by this government. With the vision of promotion of Atmanirbhar Bharat and global welfare through science, technology, innovation, and to promote scientific temper in society, the Ministry of Science and Technology and Ministry of Earth Sciences, in association with the Vigyan Bharati, has organized the 6th edition of Indian International Festival, which has been continuously being organized since 2015. The theme of IISF 2020 is aligned to Honorable PM's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharataye Vishwa Kalyanaye Cha Vigyanam. Atmanirbhar Bharat एवं विश्व कल्याण के लिए विज्ञान, science for self-reliant India and global welfare. The goal of IISF 2020 is to help youth develop 21st century skills with a focus on scientific knowledge, creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, and teamwork. Today, in this IISF 2020 is beginning today on 22nd December, which is the birthday of Srinivas Ramanujan ji, the world-renowned Indian mathematician, and will culminate on 25th December 2020, the birthday of former Prime Minister and visionary leader Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who added the inspiring slogan of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, reflecting the deep commitment to the belief and the science and technology will always be the core of the nation's progress. With this long-term objective to encourage students to study and work in scientific fields, the IISF is the largest congregation of young students, scientists, and technocrats from across India for exchange of knowledge and ideas to make innovations for the betterment of people. IISF is celebration to promote science and technology and demonstrates how science could lead India towards becoming a developed nation. With emerging technologies taking center stage of knowledge economies, India has embraced this change and taken huge strides in this direction. Today, technologies like IoT, blockchain, big data, AI have become buzzwords, and it's just not the buzzword. There's a lot of initiatives that are happening in these spaces. With STPI itself has created many such initiatives to support young entrepreneurs who are coming out with innovative ideas across these technologies. India, with a huge demographic dividend, large number of engineering students, and huge appetite to make it big, has naturally become one of the biggest hubs for startups, entrepreneurship, and innovations. Today, we are third largest startup ecosystem in the world. The large startups, which are driven by innovation, have been able to get great valuation and great funding as we move forward in the last couple of years. NATS 2020 will bring 18 scientists, inventors, researchers, entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and students from various new age technology spectrum to come and talk about on this platform in next 3 days. With my team, supported by Sri Sanjay Buddeji, Dr. Pooja Ghosh, Dr. Amreshwar, we are very, very delighted to begin, invite again Professor Abhay Kandikarji, Director, Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, for this inaugural address. Before I invite him, let me have a brief introduction. Professor, I would request
नहीं जाएगा वहां पे एक्चुअल डायरेक्ट नहीं है ये लिंक ये लिंक पे डायरेक्ट नहीं है कैसे लोग सुनेंगे अभी कह रहा है दे रखे एक्चुअली दे रखे इंस्ट्रक्शन दे रखे वहां पे वो जो गया ना वहां पे मेन जो जहां पे जाएंगे वहां पे ग्राफिक्स के अंदर ये है लाइक एक इजी तरीका.
Sorry, I think we had some. Professor Karandikar is an Indian institute, Indian educator, engineer, and advisor. Is best known for his work in the telecommunication sector in India. He currently serves as director of Indian Institute of Technology, a prestigious technology institute in the country. Prior to IIT Kanpur, Professor Karandikar has held a number of positions, including Dean and Institute Chair Professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering at the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Telecom Standard Development Society of India. He was one of the founding members of TSDSI and appointed as first vice chairman from 2014 to 2016, and then was appointed chairman from 2016 to 2018. He was the chairman of 5G Spectrum Policy Task Force as part of the 5G level forum, and also chairman committee on experimental spectrum 5G under trials to give recommendations to Government of India on scope, size, and quantum of spectrum of experimental license for 5G. Professor Karandikar has been the chairman and chairman of the committee for preparing a roadmap for the development of indigenous software-defined radio ecosystem, and has been the chairman of Defense Standards Authority set up by Ministry of Defense. Professor Karandikar has contributed to conceptualization and establishment of new technical standard work programs for TSDSI. He is member of TRI and serves on the boards of Central Electronics Limited, CSC, Wi-Fi Chapal Services Limited, National Rail and Transport Institute, Science and Engineering Research Board, India Policy Foundation, and chairman in the board of Institute of Advanced Science Studies in Science and Technology, Guwahati. He also serves as the member of Technical Advisory Committee of Securities and Exchange Boards of India. First of all, my heartfelt thanks for you taking out time, sir, from your very, very busy schedule. I remember I knew you had a TRI meeting, and after my repeated instance, sir, you have taken time to speak on this platform. So I'm sure all young minds which are listening and are waiting to hear your thoughts on key theme of this festival, that is Science for Self-Reliant India and Global Welfare. I'm sure your insight on emerging New India and what role academia, industry, and government will play and is playing and will have to play to promote innovation across emerging technologies, as I spoke earlier. So with these thoughts, I welcome Professor Karandikar. Sir, over to you for your special address.
Thank you, Dr. Sachan. First of all, my warm welcome to all the participants of this new technology S session of the India International Science Festival. Also my regards to Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General of STPI, and other organizing team of this particular session. As you know, the theme of the India International Science Festival is that science for self-reliant India and global welfare. Science and technology actually are the key elements for the sustainable growth of a country. And recent economic disruptions which were brought by the pandemic situation due to COVID-19 in the country has actually re-emphasized the role of technology innovations, self-reliance, and the global welfare. As all of you know, and as was pointed out by Dr. Subodh Sachan also, that in a nationwide move, our Honorable Prime Minister has articulated the vision of Make in India, vocal for local, for making our country self-reliant. The primary intent behind this vision is that as the economic activities grow in India, we should not depend more and more on imports, but rather, we should go towards developing the technology indigenously. In the recent COVID pandemics, we have seen that this move actually fueled many innovations and startups within a short span of time. Either for making N95 masks or ventilators or PPP kits, and actually created new opportunities for many entrepreneurs. And I think this is the right time where the academia, the industry, and young entrepreneurs can actually play a role in making our country self-reliant in terms of the technology development. As the current theme of this session is the new age technology, as we have seen that in the last 20 years or so, we have seen significant disruptions in the information and communications technology sectors. Particularly in our country, we have sort of seen a revolution in the area of cellular mobile communications. In the last 25 years, we have moved from a 2G based primary voice communications over a cell phone to a completely broadband communications on an LTE 4G networks. Now, as we move towards the 5G or beyond cellular mobile communications, the importance of an information communications technology infrastructure is becoming even more important, because in the increasing world of the gig economy, and particularly in the digital nomads, the all pervasive digital technology is changing the complete landscape in which we live and work. And in fact, this has been reinforced even during the COVID-19 situations, when people had to resort to work from sort of home kind of a situations. And in this context, we will see, of course, it was mentioned that the data is oil, but more importantly, now what is happening is that the tools and techniques to make use of this data for the advancement of not only the way in which we work and the productivity increase, but also the way in which the economic activities grow. In this context, I would just like to tell you like a few disruptions that are happening. So if you see the evolution of the information and communications technology sectors, earlier, the 2G or the cellular mobile communication was primarily meant only for the voice, okay, and there was a human-to-human communications. As we moved from the 2G to 3G, okay, we started not only communicating over the voice, but also started accessing the internet. Finally, as we have moved towards the 4G, we have now seen a complete world of a packet switch communications, where the entire access is now in the form of the data. In fact, even the voice is now being sent as the packetized voice, or as the, you can say as the data packets. But so far, from 2G to 4G, we have seen that the communications has been restricted to human sort of a communications, or human to machine communications. Going forwards, in a gig economy or in a digital nomad world, we are now increasingly going to see a revolution in the form of machine to machine communications. And in the machine-to-machine communications, when we move towards the 5G or the beyond technology, we are going to see an increasing proliferations of Internet of Things enabled devices. And this is going to touch not only the telecommunication sectors, but also diverse sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, transportation, okay, and so on. Particularly, I will see that IoT-enabled devices with the advanced communications technology and the use of machine learning and the AI is going to change the way in which we do the agriculture, the farming, the techniques like, soil analysis and soil health monitoring, integration of storage and agriculture productions. This is all going to change. You will see it in the next 5 years or so. Our healthcare is going to see a significant disruption. Healthcare has already seen a lot of disruptions in the form of engineering innovations and technology innovations, so much so that the use of advanced techniques in the form of AI or machine learnings or medical imaging is going to revolutionize the futuristic medicines, be it in the case of healthcare diagnosis and treatment, or even in the case of healthcare monitoring. In fact, it is highly likely that with the very advanced radio diagnostic techniques done by the machines, you may not actually need a human doctor or radiologist for making a diagnosis, because everything actually can be easily enabled and done by the machines with very advanced algorithms. If not today, maybe in the next sort of 5 years or so. So with the other things that is going to sort of change our life is in the form of our cities, and I'm not talking of the cities in just the metropolitan cities, but even the tier 1, tier 2 cities, and even our villages are going to become disruptions in the form of the city infrastructure management. And again, it is not a question of talking a cliche word like a smart city, but we will also see that many technology revolutions in the form of achieving energy efficiency, predicting the load, etc., are really going to improve and affect the way in which we live. And finally, and I think India in the last 5 years or so, we have seen how India has transitioned to the digital financial transactions in a very big way. And this aspect, going forward, is with the use of advanced technology, particularly, the new age technology, we are going to see a sea change in the way in which the financial transactions are going to happen. Of course, the financial transactions require the security, the embedded security, and in the next decade or so, there is going to be an increasing focus on achieving the security of the data that is going to flow through the ICT pipes or so. Finally, I think some of the new age technologies are going to also revolutionize the manufacturing and supply chain sectors as well, particularly in the form of use of AI and ML techniques in the demand predictions, computations of storage or optimal stocks, reconfigurations of the shop floors, and so on. And these are really going to get affected by some of these techniques that we will see. And I know that in the today's panel discussions, we have actually some experts which actually work in this area. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we also saw our schools and colleges resorting to online educations and learning. And these online educations and learning, in terms of not only the improved experience in the form of the online educations, but most importantly, the adaptive learning component is still going to come in our education and the learning management systems, which I'm sure will affect the way in which the school educations gets affected. So all these new possibilities and technologies are there, and I believe we have a significant role to play in this. Particularly, the academia can act as a catalyst in driving some of these innovations. And this can be done not only in the form of translational research, but also in terms of incubating startups and commercializing the research which is getting done in some of our higher learning institutions, be it the IITs or other academic institutions. As all of you may be aware that nations are now increasingly becoming aware of intellectual property rights and using the IPRs to position their trade policies. And in this geopolitical world, therefore, it is really important that when we resort to the concepts of make in India or vocal for local, it is important that we actually create our own intellectual property rights and our own design, which leads to manufacturing. We just do not want, the simple manufacturing, but we need design and IPR creations, which leads to manufacturing. And it is not just merely design and IPR creations. It is also important that we use these IPR to influence the global technology and the global standards. It is important that we get our IPRs as in the form of standards essential patents, because unless we get IPRs in the standards essential patents, we will not be able to influence the advancement of the global technology and have Indian requirements push into those standards. And whether these standards are in the form of cyber security, or whether these standards are in the 5G and beyond technologies, or whether these standards are in the IoT technologies, or whether they are the standards which are affecting various gig economy sectors in the either be healthcare, agriculture, transportations, educations, supply chain management, manufacturing, whether we go to industry 4.0 and so on. So I think it is therefore very, very important that in order for us to achieve a self-reliant goal, we really work in a mission mode manner on creating our intellectual property rights. Last 20 years or so, while there has been a significant growth in the information and communications technology sectors, medical technology sectors, healthcare sectors, agriculture in India, unfortunately, what has happened is that we have become one of an emerging market, or in the case of telecom, we have actually become the second largest telecom market in the world. But the next 25 years or so, while in the past 25 years, we have developed our markets and we have developed our needs, in the next 25 years, it is really more important that we now develop the technology to meet not only our own markets, but create situations where we can influence, the global technology landscape. And there is an opportunity in these directions. In fact, some of the academia has attempted now to influence the 5G standards, and we have made some headway into that, but more efforts are needed because the technology landscape is not just restricted to the bit pipe, but it is now extending it to all other domains as the new age technology is affecting not just the blue collar jobs or the white collar human beings, but it is also affecting even a man on the street and each and every sectors. So I believe there is an opportunity for us to make a difference, and I think there is a increasing importance of industry academia collaborations to make this happen. So with this, I would like to say that there is a silver lining in that we started making a beginning in the form of making some difference, and I'm sure the next decade or so is going to be very crucial for us, for the India, to take a leapfrog in these sectors. So thank you very much, and I'm sure this session is going to be exciting I see that there are a lot of good panel discussions, good speakers who will be able to throw a light on many of these new age technology, whether it is a data science, or whether it is artificial intelligence, or whether it is machine learning techniques, or whether it is a new information and communications technology, or it's a new healthcare sectors, or the medical technology, or the Internet of Things, and so on. I'm sure that you will enjoy these talks and will get motivated and inspired to work in the next decade or so to focus on design and IPR creation, leading to manufacturing, and thereby making our country a truly self-reliant India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Abhay Kandikarji. I think you have covered the spectrum in the form of the various advancements which are happening in the technologies, why there is a need, especially given the new digital era which we are already witnessing, the changes which we are witnessing right now, and how there is a next decade we have to leapfrog as a nation, and to start working towards working towards more standardization of what technologies we adopt, right? So I'm sure with this thought process of yours, the audience which is listening to us would be further fueled towards working in these new technology areas, and seen the various myriads of as you spoke, digital nomads and digital era, right? I think that's something which will be very exciting to everyone. I think next decade we all here are going to witness how as a nation we leapfrog towards various digital technologies, adopt especially the new technologies like 5G, when machine-to-machine communication is becoming a reality. And I know, so with that note, so thank you, sir, for your for very introductory thoughts on session. Now at this juncture, let me invite Dr.
I need to unfortunately leave for another thing, so I will apologize to Dr. Rai that
no, it was my pleasure. I listened to you, and I always love to listen to your talks on 5G technology and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Yeah. Thank you. So at this juncture, let me invite Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General of Software Technology Parks of India. Dr. Omkar Rai, heads the Software Technology Parks of India, which is premier government organization working for the promotion of the IT, ITS, ESDM sector in India. Dr. Rai has contributed immensely in repositioning STPI with focus on innovation and dispersal of the IT, ESDM industry beyond metros. He brings over 30 years of experience in IT, ESDM sector and has been instrumental and successful in formulating an appropriate interface among industry and government, along with the necessary policy interventions for the growth of the IT industry in India. Under his visionary leadership and thoughtful guidance, STPI is charting the new story, the story of building the biggest and most vibrant pan-India tech entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem through STPI centers of excellence, through various schemes like NGIS or BPO promotion schemes, which are, again, all these schemes are focused on creating and nurturing entrepreneurs in various emerging technologies. He has been his hallmark in terms of collaborative, stitching the collaborative model with industry, academia, and other stakeholders has been behind the success of what we have been able to achieve so far. In fact, as going back as early as 2012, he has been very vocal and speaking on India emerging as software product nation. And as we have been a soft IT services destination, but the transformation of the IT industry and the need of an hour to transform India as a software product nation has been well spoken and well interjected by Dr. Rai. He's also serving as chairman of AIC STPI Next and director on the board of MTNL STPI IT Services Limited, also director on Haryana State Electronics Development Corporation Limited. He is a chairman of IT-ITS Selection Sectional Committee of Bureau of Indian Standards. He has served as board member in National Internet Exchange of India, which is also known as NIXI. Dr. Rai is the member of governing body of Delhi University's School of Open Learning, member of the board of governors of IIIT Bhubaneswar, and member of the executive council of Sri Vishwakarma Skill University. He is also a member of Standing Committee and Coordination Forum of IIITs of Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. He has earned his bachelor's, master's, and PhD in statistics from Banaras Hindu University, which has also conferred the Distinguished Alumnus Award for his enormous contribution in bringing IT sector and shaping the Indian IT sector. GLA University Mathura has also conferred the honorary doctorate in science to Dr. Rai. With this, I would like now welcome Dr. Rai for his thoughts, especially on where, as a nation, as a government, what different initiatives we are moving forward, and what is the next decade or so, the emerging technologies, the role of emerging technologies to spun the new innovations and new entrepreneurs. So over to you, Dr. Rai.
Thank you, Sri Subodh Sachan. It's my pleasure. The panelist on this digital dais, Sri Subodh Sachan himself, we heard Professor Abhay Karandikar, Dr. Kalyan Neti ji, Sri Sanjay Burde, my friend Dr. Dhirendra Kumar, Dr. Pooja Ghosh, Sri Amreshwar Rai, other participants. I'm very glad to be here, and I must say that this is a very great opportunity to be part of India International Science Festival 2020 celebration. As Shri Subodh has detailed about the background, about the objectives of IISF 2020, we can look at the theme. It talks about science for self-reliant India and global welfare. Under this very theme, to demonstrate and to articulate the ways and means as to how the Indian science or science and technological development in India could be leveraged to make India self-reliant, and also to ensure that India could work for global welfare. This IISF has been divided into 41 tracks, 41 themes. And these themes are so encompassing that they are almost covering everything with entirety to ensure that the deliberation, discourse, lectures, seminars, demonstration, exhibitions, or anything that is required to demonstrate, exhibit, and bring on forth the entire issue has been organized and planned in this IISF 2020. One of the tracks that New Age Technology Show IISF for IISF 2020 has been actually one of the new entries in this very IISF 2020, because in IISF 2019 we only had 28 tracks, 28 themes, whereas in this IISF we have created 41 tracks to cover everything with entirety. This is the digital platform. The theme and the digital platform that has been adopted to demonstrate and celebrate this IISF 2020 is itself as per the new normals which has emerged out of COVID-19 created lockdown. During this lockdown, India at large has understood, adopted the new technologies, new age technologies. One of one of these technologies is collaborative technologies, and I'm very glad that we are here. The IISF 2020 is going to be the largest ever science and technology celebration, participatory celebration made by any entity, any country in the entire world. I would say that during this, as my colleague Sri Subodh Sachan has detailed, that this IISF 2020 is going to generate a lot of enthusiasm in its participants, stakeholders towards S&T, and to understand the importance of S&T in the national development, in the economic development and prosperity of this nation. And therefore, it is very important for us to instill, inspire the young boys and girls and other stakeholders towards using S&T for development of technology, products, and solutions for the benefit of this country. And therefore, the entire objective has to be met by the deliberation, discourse, lectures, or demonstrations, exhibition that we are organizing under this very umbrella. we know that post-independence, India has demonstrated its scientific prowess by bringing revolutions like agriculture revolution, we call it green revolution. Then white revolution, we call it for a revolution to bring self-reliance in terms of production of milk and milk products in this country by organizing their processing and supplies, gathering, collection. And then third revolution, we have seen that we have become a IT superpower in the entire world by almost serving almost all countries and multinational technology corporations in terms of development of cutting edge technologies of today. And therefore, India is a place where most of the R&D is happening as an outsourcing model. This has actually encouraged all of us to make sure that we capitalize on the talent that we have within this nation. And we also capitalize on the IT services industry of India to bring about much needed changes, to bring about all those ecosystem where we could generate technology, IPR products, wealth for the countrymen. And therefore, if you look at what has happened during last 2 decades, is that India has actually quickly emerged as a place where IT is using in a very robust and vibrant manner to solve the problem that we have. And therefore, the entire evolution that we are seeing in the terms of India stack is around using cutting edge technologies, information technologies, and solving those problems. While solving those problems, we generate wealth and value around. We know that Professor Abhay Karandikar has just spoken about the miracle, the achievement that we have made in terms of digital identity that we have in the terms of Aadhaar infrastructure. Another achievement we have is in terms of UPI, Unique Payment Interface, Unified Payment Interface. That is the world's largest peer-to-peer payment system ever adopted by any nation, any entity in the world. And that has made the transfer of money, transfer of payments so easy, unseen before. And that has also minimized the cost of transfer of money, uses of money. We all know that this digital identity, biometric identity, Aadhaar, has become foundation of transferring and delivering of various citizen services, government services to our last people. And that has also made things so efficient, so transparent. On one hand, the emergence of India stack is ever growing. We are every day adding some stack on this in India stack, so-called India stack platform. Other hand, we have also seen emergence of a very vibrant startup ecosystem in the emerging technology. We know that the e-commerce platforms are the startups based on the shared economy platform or aggregation platform, e-commerce platform. And very soon, India has seen the emergence of a startup ecosystem with 34 unicorns that we had in year 2018, 18-19, which is set to grow to 52 unicorns by 2022. We are world's largest, third largest technology-based startup ecosystem. And this startup ecosystem is ever growing, ever evolving, giving us hope that tomorrow India would actually create much needed wealth, jobs, and opportunity for our countrymen by capitalizing on these emerging technologies, which we are going to talk which is already happening in this country. And therefore, as we all know that during this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic lockdown period, India has actually shown a lot of resilience and digital adoption up to the last mile. The media and entertainment sector, the education sector, the health tech, and entire collaborative platform, and IT industry also, adopting to work from home culture is the example of how Indians and Indian entities are using latest technologies and very quickly to solve the problem they face anytime. This has given us hope that in times to come, we'll be able to, capitalize on these technologies. Like artificial intelligence, this is one of the technologies much talked. We know that artificial intelligence is actually transforming the entire landscape of industry and the government, and it is bringing much needed value addition in whatever we do. We know that the by using the artificial intelligence in the businesses, in the governance, in the corporation and in entities, we can value add and generate extra wealth, which would help us in doing so many things. The uses of artificial intelligence in various sectors of economy and knowledge is going to make tremendous impacts in time to come. We all know that another very important technology we talked about, IoT, Internet of Things, which is much used in wearable that we have, consumer wearables and sensors. It is on one hand making things efficient, leading to transformation of legacy industry toward industry 4.0. At the same time, it is allowing young boys and girls and startups to create large number of technology products on one hand, and other hand generation of huge data, mass data, which will be used in turn by the artificial intelligence, because data, as I said, people say data is the new oil, new currency. And therefore this entire data that will be generated by proliferation of IoT in India would be in turn used by training for artificial intelligence, which in turn will generate a lot of wealth, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of technology around it. We all know during this COVID-19, the educational technologies and other platforms have been used in collaborative manner. We have been delivering the content to our audience, our students. We have been using the collaborative platform to share knowledge, to interact with each other, to talk to each other, conducting businesses. However, in times to come, we are going to see adoption of a lot of immersive technology like animation, visual effect, augmented reality and virtual realities, because we are going to refine our experience. We are going to make things more immersive, more interactive, and more collaborative. And therefore, these three technologies are going to find to become mainstream in terms of anything that we do in terms of sharing, delivering, and connecting people or the systems. This is also going to make tremendous impact in the media and entertainment contents, because in times to come, we are going to seek those contents which are very, very immersive, because we are going to feel, going to submerge with the kind of content we see. And this trend is now upcoming. We all know that as Professor Karandikar talked about the 5G, evolution of 5G, and 5G is going to transform the entire transmission landscape, and therefore it is going to allow any kind of content, most heavy content on the telecommunication platform that we have today. And therefore this is going to enable a kind of real-time interaction, a real feeling, and all this heavy data can be transformed and communicated to each other. This is also, at the same time, we all know that the cloud, India has become a leader in software as a service platform. This is a kind of technology product. And these products are actually going to allow us, this cloud technology, the SaaS, the platform as a service platform, are going to help SMEs the best, the startup the best, because we are going to work and use all this infrastructure on very transactional basis, allowing a lot of entrepreneurship in this field, at the same time making things so easy for smaller businesses, micro businesses, and startups around us. We all know that the 3D technology, it is going to help the doctors, the people at large. You are going to print so many body parts, teeth, or anything, and that is going to be, help in the medical sector, healthcare sector at large, and people are going to use create several platforms and machines, several algorithm to print the things that we want in times to come. We all Further, I would also like to add that the blockchain technology is going to make a lot of difference in the field of financial technology, in the field of agriculture. We all know that today its agriculture sector is much in talk because of farm laws, and the government of India has resolved to double the farmers' income by 2025. And the uses of this blockchain technology, which is going to transform the entire life cycle of agriculture from farm to fork, and bring much needed trust, much needed improvement in the logistics, much needed trust in the traceability of the product. And these things are going to revolutionize the value and wealth that agriculturists or farmers are going to accrue from its market from all across the world because of the blockchain technology. We know that in case we are able to assign trust and traceability to our agricultural products, the returns from those products from the market increases increasingly and very drastically. And therefore, uses of this blockchain technology in this sector of agriculture is very, very important. I'm very sure that the young boys and girls are already working, and this is going to be to become a movement in times to come, because so many young boys and girls are going to try their ideas in this sector to help our farmers grow and realize their revenues from what they produce. Further, if I talk about drone technology, robotics is already very important in terms of industry 4.0 technology. It is going to help humans doing things very efficiently, repetitively, and therefore India India is set to gain from all these technology, whereas people all across the world fear or afraid of these technologies because they fear the job losses because of this. Whereas in India, India is so properly placed in terms of because we are going to serve the entire world in terms of development of these technologies, commoditization of these technologies, and therefore we will power creation and development of these technologies all across the world. And therefore, India being a IT superpower in terms of IT outsourcing is going to lead the entire world in terms of development of products and servicing those products from the Indian soil. By doing this, we will leverage and create a lot of wealth around us. As I said, we have to do these things. While doing these, we have to create a lot of wealth and technology products. India in year 2019 came up with national policy on software product. And this policy aims at creating India as a software product nation in times to come, making India a software product nation in times to come. This would mean that India would become a home for development of software technology products, around which will create a lot of services and in turn will create a lot of wealth for us. We know that US and Europe are the home for most of the IT technology projects, whether it is Google or Facebook, Apple or such products, or even Oracle or Microsoft. All these products have been created from European and American soil. And therefore, we foresee that in times to come, India would create futuristic product from our soil. And therefore, all these efforts that are required to be made are being made right now to make sure that whatever needed for our young boys and girls to ideate, to dream, and convert their ideas into products, we are trying to do that. IISF kind of celebration is one of those initiatives. Apart from that, the Ministry of Electronics and IT has taken number of initiatives to make sure that they have established the Ministry of Electronics and IT Startup Hub to connect the technology entrepreneurs with each other, to provide a platform to young boys and girls and startups to access to the mentors, to access to the capital, by establishing funds of funds, creation of seed funds, uh, giving much needed upskilling opportunity in the emerging technologies. Niti Aayog has already launched Atal Innovation Mission. India has already established, our Honorable Prime Minister of India had already, you know, launched a cyber center for cyber physical system in the past. Much focus is being made toward autonomous, connected, electric, and shared vehicle in the field of medical technology, health technology, gaming and animation, fintech, and such other sectors. And all the stakeholders, including various government organizations, ministries, DST, DBT, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Software Technology Parks of India, which I belong and I represent, Niti Aayog, and such other organizations are working together, and they are also collaborating with academia, like STPI. It has come up with a model of collaborative model for doing things. We are working very closely with the academia, industry, industry leader, industry association, young boys and girls, and the governments at large to create a kind of a mechanism and platform wherein young boys and girls can come and can access to world-class mentors, industry leaders, access to capital, market, ease of doing business and all, so that they can only focus on converting their ideas into product, and then they can get into the domestic market, get their product tested, and thereafter not only they uh, clear these items or sell these items only in domestic area, but also export them outside this country to accrue a lot of benefit from these sectors. We know that the strategic sector of India, like industry, and they are doing very well. They need a lot of technology for efficiency augmentation, for making things very smart, and therefore industry 4.0 technologies are are require a lot of focus for our young boys and girls, for our countrymen, for development and working with these industries to solve their problem. We also know that the AI, which rides on the mass of data, is set to grow in our on our soil, because in times to come, India is going to generate huge data because of a huge population that we use, and huge digitization that India is undergoing right now. And therefore, the kind of data we are going to generate, which is going to be made available to the researcher, to the developers of technology using AI. And very soon, India is going to be the leader in terms of technologies around AI, because of much great foundation that we are laying, on which these technologies will be developed. I must say that these efforts which are being made are very futuristic and very timely at the same time, and we will be able to benefit from these technologies, these initiatives that India is taking. India is set to grow in this direction because of great talent pool that we have, a great IT services industry, which is around 4.1 million software professionals which are deployed all across the country, which are available as a mentor pool for helping young boys and girls, those who wants to try their hands on these technologies for solving the problem that the country faces today. I am very sure that while solving these problems, India will become home of new discoveries, new invention, new innovation, around which the world will get a lot of opportunity to try their hand and use those products in times to come. With this, I would uh, conclude my talk on this very topic, and I would thank IISF for not only organizing this very theme on new age tech, but also affording opportunity to me to share some of my thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's always pleasure to listen to you and to understand the various facets of the various emerging technologies, the dimensions of all the emerging technologies and I think the progress which has been made within our nation in all those emerging technologies as we enter the new era. It's I think you have given a very great picture in terms of various government initiatives and also the various activities and progress which has been made, whether it is UPI, whether it is Bheem or Jandar Aadhaar Mobile. I think across all digital adoption of within the government and within the government's intervention to cater to 130 crore people of our nation. I think there has been a huge progress which has been made already, and under various new initiatives which are going to come for, which will be seen as we move forward in the next 5 years or 10 years, we will see a lot of new solutions emerging across technologies. Today, technologies, as you said, like Internet of Things, blockchain, big data, artificial intelligence, are being considered as means to achieve not just efficiency, but in some cases also to improve transparency and to curb corruption, to do away with brokers, etc. I mean, today when we speak about IoT or robotic, right? Whether it is safety and security of citizens, whether it is safety and security of, or whether smart living, I think everywhere technology has played a key role. And as a country, we should look forward to progressing in these dimensions.